balmy shores of sunny Florida to the cold winds of Chicago and everywhere in between. You're watching the Red Wimet Show, live, coast to coast. And now, Chicago's talk of the town, Mr. Red Wimet.
Hello, everyone. Today is December 29th, 2025. The last Monday. That's it. Last Monday of the month. At any rate, I am Red Wimet. And this show is going to be kind of interesting. Before we get into the show, why don't we say hi to some of our wonderful people here that showed up. Ex-cop. Good to see you. Bill Crawley. Good to see you. Jim Nagnifici. Good to see you. I'm having problems with this one. Call cookies. Okay. Top of the afternoon from Vegas. Good to see you. George Wilson. Good to see you, George. Happy New Year, Joe. It's coming up. I'll be on Wednesday, New Year's Eve, with Adam, I believe. Christina Morris. Good afternoon. Good to see you. I had a wonderful Christmas, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful New Year. 2026 is coming on us. George Wilson. Hi, Red, Joe, and Adam. It's just me. You're drinking along for the ride. Okay, George. Anyway, John Conley Jr., how you doing? Retired gangster, allegedly. Okay. Allegedly. Greetings, Polly Walnuts, from the frigid plains of Central. Yeah, well, it's getting crazy here. It really is, because it's supposed to go down in the 20s tonight, which is kind of rare for here. But it was in the 70s, and then it's supposed to warm up. This is great flu weather. they'll be hollering out COVID flu. It's going around or something like that. It's crazy. How you doing, Glenn Page? Good afternoon to Bill Crawley. Okay, did I get everybody? I don't want to shortchange anybody. Let's see how much flack Red gets in this stream. Whatever, guy. I mean, I think we took the last time I was on, we took a poll, and there wasn't anybody that gave me any flack. John Conley Jr., how you doing? Good to see you. I decided to pick a subject. I was talking with Adam about what we're going to talk about Wednesday, which is the corruption in Chicago and the judges and the ones that were bought and paid for or could be bought and paid for. That's what we'll be showing. Yes, that is correct. The poll did show all support for the flag. I was very surprised, happy, just that way. Why isn't Adam here? Adam comes on my vlog on Wednesdays. This is my show on Mondays, and then we have the after party after Adam's show on Wednesdays. That's the way we schedule it. But I'm a regular Monday guy. Okay? Anywho, we were talking about it, and we were talking about different things. And Brad, I don't mean to sidetrack you, but what's for dinner tonight? I haven't figured it out yet. At any rate, as we were talking about it, he asked me a question. He asked me about Judge Maloney. And it just so happened Gary Jenkins had Bob Cooley on, Robert Cooley, when corruption was king. It still is. But the way it went was kind of wild. And so Adam asked me about it, and he said, I don't know about your question here, but it's kind of a goofy question. Sir, can I play? I don't even pronounce that. On your forehead, please? No, you can't do anything with my forehead. That's the way it is. Spookily. Okay. We have some different people. So basically, this one's interesting. Basically, we bother Red with questions on Monday and bother Adam with questions on Wednesday. Okay. It's not a bother, guys. I don't see them in the chat either, but then again, they might be on a different device. So it could be done that way. Anywho, let me get back to my story. It's very simple. He was asking me about Judge Maloney because Judge Maloney was the judge that presided over the M&M murders. And I said, no, that guy was on the take. I mean, definitely. He was a judge that was on the take. And he said, how do you know? I said, I just got involved. I was involved with a lot of legal matters. And I knew the judges that were on the take and not on the take. And it just so happened Gary Jenkins had put Bob Cooley up and was talking about the judges he used to bribe. And some heavy cases he bribed. I mean, murders and things like that, armed robberies, bad stuff. And so we decided to talk about that on Wednesday. Meanwhile, I started going through my recollection of different people, different judges that I bribed. Not to mention police officers I bribed. I mean, there was a lot of those. So I always said Chicago has the finest police that money can buy. At any rate, probably one of the ones that stands out in my mind very heavily is on 11th and State on the 11th floor was gun court. And that was Judge Trezecca. And before that, it was Judge Sedini in that courtroom on the 11th floor. And they used to switch off, but both of them, I gave money to them. I asked them what their favorite charity was. And as a result, they chewed out the police officers and dismissed the cases. So that was 11th and State. Those people were very different. I never went to 26th in California. I didn't need any big cases like that. It just didn't happen. But there is a link in the description here of a bedtime story that I told about Bill Murray, Sergeant Murray, and Casper Johnson. And I'm trying to remember the other guy's name. Casper was there. Murray was there. I knew the two that were working, but I didn't know Bill Murray until that encounter. And if you want to watch it, you can. It's very interesting. I was arrested for a UUW, unlawful use of a weapon. In other words, I was carrying a pistol in Chicago when it was illegal to own a firearm in Chicago. You couldn't even have an FOID card if your address was Chicago. They wouldn't give it to you. That's the way it was back then. We're talking in the 70s. It was a lot different. Then later on, they went to, like when I was arrested, they went to a where you register each firearm that you own with the city of Chicago. was like $50 a piece for every firearm you own. And I did it. And it just happened that way. So those are two judges. And probably one of the most efficient ones was a judge that was very well known for his corruption. His name was O'Donnell, J.J. O'Donnell. And J.J. lived in my ward, and he was a drunk, an alcoholic. I mean, a real alcoholic. Several times he had problems. He lived in Sandburg Village right behind me. And several times he had problems where he came out and he was, somebody parked in his parking space, assigned parking at Sandburg Village. And there was Walter Jacobson did a thing about him with the case of the deadly cigar, because he said he was pointing a cigar and he was really pointing a pistol. And when the police came, he said, "Oh, no, I wouldn't do that. I'm a judge." But anyway, JJ was in a misdemeanor court. But whenever we had a bust that would take place at the store, it would go before his court. And the bust would be possession of obscene material or sale of obscene material, something like that. And it was kind of common that these guys would always get a year supervision. No jail time, no fine, just a year's supervision. And that supervision meant you can't get arrested within a year of the time you're convicted. So I had a few people that occasionally I had to jostle them around because I didn't want them to get busted. So I had an arrangement with the police officers where they call me. And that was Vice Unit at Maxwell Street. The Vice Unit used to come in. And they'd say, "Oh, we haven't got you in 3-4 months, and we need to get you." One time it was over a year. They said, "We haven't got you in a year, or we got to get you some. Which shift do you want?" So I would give them somebody that was working a shift where they wouldn't have a problem with them. But if somebody else, I didn't have that situation, and they took a bust, I would bond them out immediately. They wouldn't sit in jail. But when they went to court, I would make sure JJ got his money. And JJ was different. He never took money from my hand. He would take it from the bailiff that worked with him. And when you gave him the money, he would just hand it to the judge. The judge never took it out of your hand. It's not that you didn't see the judge get it. It's just that he could say that money never passed through our hands. And that's what it was like. Anyway, that's the way JJ went. I only had one problem with JJ. There was a guy that worked for me that he was supposed to be there at a certain time for court. And I guess the shift he worked on, he overslept and didn't make it there to court. But the case was going to be tossed. But I needed to make the arrangements. And I said, "Son of a gun, I didn't make the arrangements." So I called the bailiff on the phone. And he said, "Oh, no. He started drinking already." He said, "You don't want to talk to him now." He said, "He gets mean." I said, "Well, is there any chance I can stop by and, take care of you?" And he said, No. He said, "It's continued. It's to another date. So, see me before then." And I said, "Okay, we'll let it go." And he took it on a regular basis. We're talking about not once, not twice, but maybe 40, 50 times I paid him off. It's just the way it was. So, any rate, I say any rate a lot. What did happen was I continued to do business with that judge. Another judge that I bribed was Judge Reynolds. And at that time, Judge Reynolds was at Western and Belmont, which was the Area 6 homicide. I think it's Area 3 now. They called it Area 6 violent crimes, but they had two courtrooms there. And the one was Judge Reynolds. And Judge Reynolds was a real nice guy, easygoing. I didn't know he took. But whenever I went to court, whenever I went any place, I was in a suit and tie. I mean, I dressed formally any place I went. Most people thought I was an attorney if they didn't know me when I walked into a courtroom. But that's the way it was. So when I got before him, it was a baloney thing where a friend of mine, their kids were in a parking lot on somewhere in Rogers Park. And I think it was by the lake, but the parking lot was for an expensive building. And it was down below the lake level. And they were in the parking lot and they were going through the parking lot, stealing cassette tapes out of the cars. And one of the cassette tapes that they stole was, I happened to be there when this happened. I was in that building for some reason. I went to see somebody. And this guy comes out with a gun. And he's going to shoot these kids. I mean, they're kids. They're like maybe 16, 17 years old. And so he goes up to him and he says, "You live in this building?" And they're not answering him. And he's waving a pistol around, all kinds of stuff. So I walked over to him and stopped it. And I was wearing a pistol. And then he pulled out his badge. And I said, "The badge isn't going to do you any good." He was a prosecutor. He worked for the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. So when it came up in court, he tried to prosecute it himself. And I walked in the courtroom, but I had called one of my attorneys, Howie Gilman. And Paul, if you're listening to this, Paul Gilman's his son. And he's a fan of mine, always has been. I think the last time I actually saw him was when he was 16. When I had some legal difficulties, I called Paul and we talked and we had emails back and forth and he helped me with some other things. His father passed away. Very good friend of mine, extremely good friend of mine. But Howie, his name was Howie Gilman, Gilman. And Howard was a very special attorney. And he used to call me his special client. He used to complain about me sometimes. He'd say, "You know, kid," he always called me kid. He said, "You know, kid, you're the only guy I know that has a doctor that comes to the house, lawyers that come to the house. Everybody makes house calls with you. You don't go see them. They come and see you." And I said, "Howie, do you want another job?" And he said, "No, I like you." He said, "You're great." But anyway, I called Howard up and I said, "Howard, you got to be there." And he said, "Don't worry about it. I'll be there," whatever branch it was. Well, he wasn't there on time. And meanwhile, this guy is chaffing at the bit and having all kinds of problems about what he's going to do to these kids. He said he was going to put them in juvenile hall. He was going to lock them up, all kinds of things. And I'm looking at him like, this is a lot. I mean, no damage was done to the vehicles. This was a lot over cassette tapes. So all of a sudden, Howard comes in and he makes a dramatic entrance into the courtroom. And when he comes into the courtroom, he goes to the front immediately and starts going through the paperwork, looking for the names of the kids. And he puts them on top. And Judge Reynolds looks at him while he's doing all this. They don't say anything. And he's smoking this big cigar. When I say big cigar, it was very thick. I don't have anything around here to describe it. But he used to smoke H. Upmans because I used to buy him boxes of H. Upmans. He liked Cuban cigars, big ones. So at any rate, While he's smoking a cigar, the bailiff comes over and says, you can't smoke that in here. You'll have to leave. Howard's not paying any attention to him. He just keeps saying over and over and over, da, 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 da. And Howard's not even responding at all in any way whatsoever. So what happened is that eventually this bailiff was raising his voice. And the judge said something about he can put it out. And Howie turned around and said, oh, this? He had it in his hand. He said, oh, this? And he reaches out and he gives it to the bailiff. The bailiff was stupid. He grabbed it. Now he's got the lit cigar. And Howard just went along his business. He's got a smile on his face the whole time. He's thinking ahead through all this. And so the judge takes a recess. And the two defendants are sitting there. And Howard made a comment about that. He said, what'd you do, buy them new clothes? They look like cherubs or choir boys. He said, they don't look like criminals. And I said, I learned from the best, Howard. And he said, yeah. And he said, come on, let's go on back. So we went to chambers. And Judge Reynolds and Howard talked for a while. Howard Gilman, Howie. I call him Howie. And while they were talking, he said, they were just making small talk about different things, families, personal things. And the judge finally said, well, what are you in here for? And he said, I got a nuisance case. I mean, it's a small case. Howie did murders. I mean, he did heavy crimes. But he said, this is a nuisance case. And so I saw him, and he said, okay. And then he turns to me and he says, got $50 on you? And I said, yeah. And he said, put it on the desk. The judge is looking at me. Howard's talking to me, right? So I pulled out a $50 bill, put it on the desk. And this hand goes like this, snatch, into the drawer. That was it. It was gone very fast. And he said, okay, gentlemen, and back to the courtroom. They come up. This guy was screaming. The prosecutor was screaming his head off because he made special arrangements to get there. And it's like the judge didn't care. He just cut him right off. The gavel went down and he said, insufficient cause, not guilty. No continuance, no stricken on leave, which means it can be reopened, not prejudice, or prejudice or not prejudice. But he just dismissed the case. Howard runs out the door. And I'm hollering and say, hey, Howie, what I owe you? He said, forget it, kid. So the two kids looked at me and said, can we go? And I said, yeah, go ahead, go. You're gone. That's it. It's over. They said, that's all? I said, yeah. But that was Judge Reynolds. I bribed him on 2 other occasions, but he wasn't one of those kind of guys that after Howie introduced me to him like that, I could go to his chambers. And in chambers, you just give him what you give him, whatever is necessary. In his particular case, he never named an amount. He just battled around the bush and said, okay, are we going to do this or not? Something like that. And I passed him whatever money he needed. That was it. So he was an excellent judge in a lot of ways. But it wasn't heavy things. I didn't go in for armed robberies or anything where people were hurt or damaged property. Nothing like that at all. Just didn't do it. But while we're here, we have Chain Weaver. Howdy, everybody. Smash that like button. Thank you so much. Let's see. We have some chat here. Oh, we have the 420 announcement. It's 424 now. I don't think you'll die for 4 minutes. Ryan Brown. How you doing, Ryan? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're really getting well. It says, Christina, thank you. Doing better. Surgery to be debarred. The wound went well. The hospital is still in hospital, receiving care. More to surgery to come. Wound back also needed. Kind of cool. I got to see my tendon, patella tendon. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're doing better. You sound better. Christina says, Ryan, that sounds dreadful. I love you, Christina. Ryan says, Christina, the Lord has me, so I'm good. Also, tremendous friends and family. Yes. And that helps. That helps a lot. Scott H., how you doing, guy? So, back to the bribing. I bribed a lot of different judges. If they're one of those things, I just did. Yes, Scott. I watched the second dropping yesterday of Bob Cooley, and I really felt sorry for him. I really do. I mean, Gary told his story about how he got to be on Gary's show, which is, I'm trying to think, it was Gangland Crime. Gary had reached out to him in 2016, and what had happened was he said he had a movie deal or something like that, and he couldn't go on the show. He didn't want to screw up the movie deal. Well, Gary says with COVID and everything else, he lost the movie deal. And all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, he sends him an email or calls Gary and says, I want to pick up on my book. It never did very good because I didn't promote it, but I'd like to promote it some more. And so Gary had, I saw the first one. I saw the second one. The second one is outdoors, and he's using somebody else's it's funny. Yes, I would agree that movie deals are iffy. I had one, and I lost it over COVID. In 2019, I lost it. But I will tell you this. I had some problems with the hurricane here. That was a problem. As I listened to Bob, why am I calling him Bob? First name basis. As I listened to Bob Cooley, I saw things that were grossly inaccurate. He talked about things that I think he's trying to make himself look important. But the truth of the matter, that's my guess, but the truth of the matter is he looks senile. He looks like he's pulling these things out of nowhere, but they're definitely not factual.
Adam Flowers.
They're just not factual. That's Adam calling now. And he hung up. At any rate, when I say, whoa, a little blur there. When I say not factual, he talks about being a police officer in the 60s. And he started gambling as a police officer. And he got hooked up with the mob while Marco D'Amico, he says, when he was a police officer. And he talks about the Elmwood Park crew being the most powerful crew and some other things. And it just wasn't right. Adam Flowers. Hi, Red. I'm with Gary right now. Gary Jenkins? Son of a gun. I mean, no disrespect to anybody, really. I just feel bad because it wasn't tell Gary hi. I didn't. They just didn't add up. They weren't true. And when he was in the 18th district, or when he says he was in the 18th district, which was a hot district, they were two-man cars back in the 60s. And then he said he knew Milwaukee Phil. I knew Milwaukee Phil. His name was never mentioned around Tony Spilaccio, Milwaukee Phil, Joey Lombardo. None of us guys ever talked about him. They didn't talk about me. So, and we talked about lawyers, we talked about judges, we talked about a lot of things, but that wasn't one of the things we ever talked about. So, as I looked at it, I saw inaccuracies in what he was saying. And another thing that he said, that there were a few things he said ticked me off, Bob Cooley. One was he said Eddie Johnson was feeding informants to the mob. Never happened. Never happened. Not even one time. But he said on a regular basis. Then he said he was involved in the Purelator robbery in one way or another. And I think I covered that. Yes, Scott, he bragged about all the women he met. I don't even want to go there, okay, about his double dates and everything. I just don't want to go there. But, and his Count Dante, whatever. I mean, the whole thing, when I looked at it, the man looked senile to me. And had his glasses on like this. Never adjusted them. It looked like he slept on them. And they were just that way. Adam watched him for a couple minutes and said, "There's something wrong with his glasses." And I said, "Yeah, there's something wrong with him too." But I made a comment below and on Gary, and Gary gave me a low, a low heart. And what I said was, he was the go-to guy, and he really was at one time. He was the go-to guy to fix something. But I had a different view of him than other people because I had a relationship with the U.S. Attorney's Office. And I also had a relationship with Tom Moriarty, who was the IRS CID agent that was going to press his indictment. He was about to be indicted. So it wasn't out of the benevolence of his heart or trying to help his community, like he says, that he went into the U.S. Attorney's Office. He was spending millions of dollars that he didn't earn or pay taxes on. And the IRS was all over him. And they were about to indict him. So he goes in the U.S. Attorney's Office, tells him everything, tells him what he's been doing, and cuts a deal. That's not bad. But I guess he's ashamed of the fact. Maybe he has some shame. That's just the way, I don't know. And Joe McManus, yeah, you got it here. Bob Cooley was supposed to be the outfit boss, as Gary's story goes on. He looks like he defended guys in the outfit who were in trouble. He did. Joe, he did. And sometimes he just paid the judges. He didn't defend them. But some of the things he said were just not really accurate at all. Gary's a great guy. Gary had his podcast in 2016. That was my first podcast I ever went on. It wasn't Zoom. It was just a vocal. I called in on the phone. And Gary's been very good to me. Nice man, polite man. I can call him up anytime. I don't have a problem. He's a good man. It's not a matter of Gary. Bob is a liar, period. Whether he's doing it incompetent because of his age or whether he's just bragging, I don't know. But that's the way it is. Let's see here. I would like to apologize that you have to see what happened to the world. You were fighting for it. Did I miss something? I would just like to leave it here because you seem to be a great man and speak so nicely. Well, thank whoever you're talking to. Thank you for being civil and nice. Gary is a friend. I like him. You like him too, Scott? I mean, he's a good person. Any rate, are you talking to me? Am I 30 years old? No, I'm 76. I'll be 77 in April. Coming up. Like less than 4 months. I will be, if you want to count the days, I will be 77. So it is. And Paulie Walnuts, the trolls seem to be out. What do you expect? It's the end of the year. And it's the holidays. Everybody's off work. I just know for certain you love gambling. No, you really don't know Dick. Red, you may live to be 100. I might be. My doctor said I will be. That bothers me. When my doctor told me I was going to live to be 100, you know what I told my doctor? I don't want to live to be 100. He said, why not? And I said, have you ever been to a nursing home? And he said, oh. And he said, you got a point there, which is another point. If you knew Bob Cooley's story, you'd know that his grandfather was killed in the line of duty. And in Chicago, when a police officer was killed in the line of duty, they would take his button or his badge and they would put it on the wall in a showcase at 11th and State, which was police headquarters. And that badge was retired. And when you had a retired badge from a relative, that was something else. That was his grandfather. He says on both sides of his parents, his grandfathers were both killed in the line of duty. But he says they were killed by Al Capone's men. And that didn't make sense to me either because he said they were killed in armed robberies, something like that. And that just didn't make a lot of sense. But it was what it was. We have a comment here. D of X, 99% of gamblers quit right before they're about to be hit. He owed a lot of money when he quit. He owed a lot of people. I mean, it was really kind of crazy. I'm very new here, and I have an idea. YouTube chooses the live streams for me. Greetings from Poland. Okay. That explains you. You're not from this country. Welcome and congratulations. So anyway, he had a lot to do with you notice that, no disrespect, but you think Mr. Cooley needs to visit an optometrist for a glasses adjustment? Yeah. I don't think I'm joking when I say they were kind of like this the whole interview. He never once tried to adjust them. So I don't know what that's about. Why do USA look like 1933 Germany? It doesn't to us. I don't know where you're from, but it doesn't look like that to us. You got to laugh out of somebody. What are my views of Poland? And you speak about this country. My views of Poland are very positive. The largest Polish population in the United States was in Chicago. There were more Poles there than in the capital of Poland. And I grew up around Polish people. And some of the things that I liked were Krakow hams, uh, pierogies. I like some Polish food. So I had a very good experience with that. Old Milwaukee Gambler remembers Hawthorne Park. Yeah, well, Hawthorne, the sister tracks, we call them. That was Hawthorne and I'm trying to think of the other name. Right next to Hawthorne. Hawthorne was the older track. The newer one was something else. I'm trying to remember the name and I can't. But we call them the sister tracks. They're both in Cicero. They were good. Sportsman's. You got it. Thank you. Paulie helps me out a lot. Thank you, Paulie. RFK would have made a good president. Yes, he probably would have. I think he would have. Although he did like stirring a lot of problems. Yes, Scott, you're very true, and I ditto you. What do you think about Poland? Is no immigrants, lots of white people. Sounds great to me. Yeah, really. Brian, how you doing? Brian Glade. Hi, Red. Been a long time. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Brian. Good to see you. You're welcome. Visit our country. And thank you. Thank you. I find the Polish people to be very warm and hospitable. Never had a problem with Polish people, ever, in an ethnic group. One of my neighbors and good friends was a guy by the name of Leo Swickler. His name was CZ. It was spelled funny. And he worked at a foundry. And he used to talk about working hard, sweating, and he talked with a Polish accent. Great guy. I like Leo. And Adam Flowers is Polish. So that's the way it is. Mr. Hoffman, how you doing? Hello. How you down there? Any rate, as we're going down the list, did I get everybody that we bribed or I bribed? Probably not. There's others. But that case, like I said, in the link down in the description, there is a video that I did 4 years ago. I think it's 4 years ago or more. And it was a bedtime story where I'm sitting in a chair. And I talk about the police officers that arrested me for UUW, unlawful use of a weapon, and what happened in that particular case. The judge ordered the weapon returned to me, which in Chicago, if you're from Chicago, you know they don't give you back guns. The police take them, but you never get them back. Mio, I wish I could say your name. Mio, you know, you're nuts. You're absolutely nuts. You're hiding behind a name and saying crazy things. You look like the man that molested you. Are you crazy? If that were true, why didn't you write me a letter? You know, an email. These people are sick. Happy New Year to all. Scott, you saw a video where they mentioned Leonard Cross, my partner. Which video, Scott? I don't see much of him, and people ask me about him all the time. There's a few people on Facebook that know him or knew him when he was before he even met me, and they're friends with me also. So yes, the updates. You just took your Illinois concealed refresher class yesterday. I just renewed my CCW, and people here asked me why I did it, because now we can carry. We don't need a CCW to carry in Florida. So the reason why I renewed it was if I go into another state and I'm carrying a firearm, we have reciprocity. So that's the way it is. You were on an AI type video, and I'll send it. I'd appreciate it, Scott, if you would send it, if you can find it. This is your first time on the channel. Can you ask what it's about? Basically, it's about my experiences with the Chicago outfit, organized crime, mafia, whatever you want to call it, and how I worked for over 20 years, excuse me, as a informant. That's what it's really all about. And other things like how I got involved with police officers, judges, whatever. Criminal activity. I hope that helps you. Mr. Hoffman, they really push getting deadly force insurance. They really do. You don't need it here in Florida. Matter of fact, it's very different here in Florida. If a man comes onto your property and he's armed, you own him. That's it. Thank you. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you very much. While you're at it, give me a like if you like what you're hearing. If you don't, I understand completely. I try to be as transparent as I possibly can. In Illinois, the places you need a gun, the most are not allowed to carry. Yeah, I would figure that too. Here we have another individual. What's the matter? Something in the water out here? Advice to somebody struggling with homosexual urges. My brother needs Christ. Help deeply. Love from Florida. Okay. Trump for Mount Rushmore. Ah. Yes, Scott, they are more friendly here. Much more friendly. I found that to be true. Shout out to the Austrian painter. Okay. I think there are a lot of people that are having issues, not just one guy. There's several of them that are having issues today. It just happens. I won't even, I don't want to butcher your name, guy. You seem to be the best spoken man on this whole YouTube bullshit. You deserve a sub from Poland too. Thank you. And you like my accent. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we have some strange people out here today. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Scott. Is it in the water? Maybe it's in the champagne that's coming up for New Year's Eve. Oh, okay. We're talking to a lady. Your name is Krista, which is short for Christina. Got it. Got it. Thank you, Christina. That name I'm very familiar with. If you want me to call you Krista, I will. It was very good to see you. Bill Crowley must be the 420. Maybe. I doubt it, though. That only enhances what you are. It doesn't really do that much if it is what it is. Bullshit is bullshit, and my water is fine. Okay. Probably the whiskey. Mort James. Could be. Dirty did a Katrina Man? Please read this again. You're a male, not a female. Katrina is a female name in the United States. So I'm sorry if I made a mistake. I didn't mean to, honestly. Hello from Ohio. Well, hello. Need some new glasses, bud. I need new glasses? No, I don't think so. But thank you. Not Christina. Okay. Krista. See, Americans, Scott thought that Krista or Christina was a woman too. And here we have somebody from Finland. Hello from Finland. Well, hello to you. It's good to see you. What's this channel about? I already talked about that. You're new here, and other people are too. Transparency News. Okay. You need new glasses. I don't think so. And you can keep your opinion to yourself, as most news people can do. I don't like news people that go around telling other people what to do. Thank you. Krista Casa. I am a woman, but I missed it. Okay. I'm not a perfect guy or lady, ma'am. Cheers from Ireland. Cheers back to you. Christina, goodness me, they're making me work tonight. Yeah, they are. You're with the news. Me? No, I'm not with the news. I'm with the history. Christina earning her pay. I don't pay Christina. I mean, she is a volunteer and she is great. She's a wonderful person. And she's also over in Europe. So it's like, I think she understands more of this than I do. Hi, Red. Staying well here in Wisconsin, despite the weather. Hope all is well by you. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. The crowd. Bill, I can always count on you. You're terrific. Oh, the glasses joke is about not being able to read. Okay. So you're talking about the lens. Well, it's not the lens as much as my mind. There's certain things I look at and I just don't read them well. 2 measly posts. Nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you. My pleasure. Where are these kids coming from tonight? Christina, I have no idea. But I don't even know what country they're in, much less state or anything else. Yes, at least they're boosting the algorithm. Yes, they are. But and I got to be honest with you, really honest with you. Um, unless they get too personal, I really don't care. Peace and happiness. Peace and happiness to you. It's like the end of the year. This will be my last Monday that I broadcast on. I'll be back Wednesday on New Year's Eve. And Mort James, Irish from Ireland. What part of Ireland? Don't tell me Belfast. I don't want to hear that. Hope you're not too cold over there. No, I'm warm. I'm in Florida, guy. Hi, sir. What is my favorite champagne? Um, just a California champagne. It doesn't have to be a special. Do I have a girlfriend? Presently, no. And I have female companionship, friendship, but not a girlfriend like you would probably describe a girlfriend. But then again, I'm 76 years old and I really don't need a girlfriend. I need someone some time ago. I said, no, this can end. This is a question. How did I end up here? And the algorithms are also talking about me in Arabic countries. I have no idea. Write a letter to YouTube. Devil Faces David Duke. No. What is my biggest regret? Wow. I think I'm going to have to pass on that one because I really don't. It would take me a long time to think about it. I don't have a lot of them. I'll tell you that much. I lived one hell of a life. Most people don't live as much as I did. That's just the way it is. Mr. Hoffman, no champagne, just eggnog. That's good. McDonald's or Burger King? Neither. Neither. I don't eat either one. Too much salt. I don't like fast food restaurants. I like good food. I go to the Outback. I don't mind sitting around waiting. I don't need fast food. That's just the way it is. Or I'll cook something myself, or I have something cooked for me. The other day, a gal came by and she cooked for me. But I wouldn't call her my girlfriend. What was my line of work, if I'm willing to share? My line of work. Basically, I was in pornography. I owned a pornographic bookstore. I owned some other things. I was a FBI informant, a mole that worked my way into the Chicago outfit. I really can't talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. You're getting to things that you really shouldn't talk about. What is this channel about? Channel's about me. You like the blooming onions? I like them too. I think it's great. I love the blooming onions. But most of all, I like it when the waiter or the waitress, whichever now, comes out and they have all the steaks and you pick out the actual steaks that you're gonna eat. I like that. Like it a lot. Red, what do I do for exercise? You walk. This is I walk and lift a little. I'm beyond the lifting stage. I lifted weights when I was younger. Don't need to do that now. I think after 75, you should quit that. And I'm coming on 77 soon. So It's a little bit different. I do walk. I like to walk at least 5 miles a day. And if I can't do it outside because of rain or bad weather, or some other reason, I have a treadmill and I will walk on the treadmill. Do I know Michael Francis? No, I don't know Michael Francis. Michael Francis is a celebrity from New York. What did I say earlier? I don't know. Go back and listen to it. Chicago's not said Chicago outfit, not New York mafia. No, major difference. Major difference. Where in Europe have you been? As I know it's a big journey for Americans to fly over and visit us. It is. And I've been to London, which is England. And I've been to Ireland. I had a good time over in Ireland. A little bit in Scotland. I drove around over there. I rented a car. It was very awkward driving over there, but I had a good time. Long time ago. Joe Mancas, do you ever go to Western Florida? I'm in Western Florida. You're talking about Gulf Shores? I'm in Panama City Beach, Joe. I'm in Western Florida. Yeah, I'm in the Panhandle here. Do I go to Alabama? Yeah, I jump up to Dolphin every now and then. And I have been in Gulf Shores. Great restaurants along the way. They are. There's a bunch of seafood restaurants, family owned, people along the way. I stay away from franchises mostly. Is red short for retired? No, red, extremely dangerous. No, red is short for Red We Met, my name. And that is also my email name, Red We Met at gmail.com. But it's on the floating line here, Guy, the advertisement. You can see it. What is the wildest conspiracy theory that you kind of believe? I don't have any conspiracy theories that I believe. When it's a theory, it's a theory. When it's a fact, it's a fact. I don't believe in theories. I believe there's possibilities of theories, but that's about it. And as far as believing one, no. There's a lot that I look into. Facts are facts. I really like to know the truth. The Floribama. Yeah, I go to the Floribama. Scott knows where that's at. Ever eat snails? Yes. Escargot. Would you agree that that some people said Chicago is a mob city? They may have said it. It was at one time. It was far more mobbed up than Cleveland or New York. New York was the five families. New York, Casella was more. It was more consolidated. Chicago was. What is my opinion of Canada? It depends where you're at in Canada. You can't take the whole country and say it's the same. That's like saying the whole United States is the same. Canada has different areas. I was up in London, Ontario for a period of time, and I really liked it. I liked London. It's 100 miles north of Detroit or Windsor, whatever you want to call it. It was nice up there. I went to a drag strip that was, I believe it was in St. Cloud. And that was over by Buffalo. And I crossed over. What's my opinion of Finland? I think it's very well organized. Finland. I like the government. I like the organization there. I definitely like your prison system and your laws. Or if you're there, which you said you were. There are some countries that I don't like, but Finland's not on the list, and neither is Canada. Only one complaint I have in Canada is when I was there, the banks treated me better than the people on the street on exchange. If I went into a store and bought something, I lost money because they just keep it. That's the way it was. Happy New Year and thank you, or thanks. Happy New Year to you. And thank you also. Here we go. Rolls Royce or a Bentley? Neither. I almost bought a Rolls Royce once. I kept it for about a week and I sent it back because it used to bump me in the shoulder when I closed the door. I didn't like it. So I don't like either one. Scott, Canada has totally too woke for you. It is. I don't go anywhere where I don't carry a gun. Yeah. What do I think about Nigeria? I don't think about Nigeria at all. Never comes into my mind. During which era were you in Chicago? I was born in Chicago, but I was most active in it when I got out of the Marine Corps, when I came home from Vietnam. I would say that was 1968 to 1989. That was my real high points, if that helps you. Helps answer your question anyway. Philly cheesesteaks or Chicago deep dish? It's a toss-up. It's really a toss-up. I prefer Italian beef, Chicago Italian beef. Okay, we have somebody who wants to get into politics. Am I a Trump supporter? I don't know if I am or not. I voted for him, and I like some of the things he's doing. I like some of his policies, but it is what it is. And I think he does a fabulous job. I don't agree with all of his policies, but then I don't agree with the people around him that make press releases, because you get people who say, Trump said this, Trump said that. He didn't say it. Somebody that worked for him said it. So he takes a lot of heat for things, but he's a big man. He stands up and takes the heat. Generally speaking, I never thought he'd be president. I knew him when I lived in Palm Beach, and never, ever thought that he would be president of the United States. I used to go to his barbecues. You can keep your garbage off my channel. Goodbye to that one. Do most Americans take short bus? I don't know. I really don't. And I'm not most Americans. I'm the wrong guy to ask for that. You are the laughing stock of my channel, asshole. You don't even give your name. Go back underneath the rock that you came out from underneath. I don't know where they came from, but they did. There we go. You think so? I think so. You know, I hear a lot of people say that Trump should be, they wish he was in the UK. Do I think the death penalty should be abolished? No. Personally, I think it should be used more. I don't think it should be abolished. I think each state has the right. I believe in states' rights, and each state has the right to either have it or not have it. I live in Florida. We have it. And it is the way it is. Yes. The trolls have been out. I didn't put up all their comments. Oh, Red, you beast. Carry on. Hey, Chevy 11. Good to see you too. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Howard Cosell once said, American public is comprised of ignorant voters. Howard Cosell said a lot of things. Was it all accurate? No. I wouldn't use him for a reference for a quote. I really wouldn't. Okay. Are common sense gun regulations really that bad? I'm a Republican and reconsidering my stance on this. Your thoughts? Common sense gun regulations. I believe that everybody should be fingerprinted before they purchase a gun. I also don't believe with some of the laws in my state where you can transfer a firearm without going through a dealer. I wish that guns don't kill people. People kill people. They just use the gun as the instrument. And the truth of the matter is guns don't fire themselves. They have somebody else that fires them. So I think that before they go into the hands of somebody that is incompetent or they have mental issues, these people should be fielded. That's what I think. The crowd, you have no idea. It's been a lively one. Yes, it has. Thank you, Christina. You are an idiot to get political on my channel. How stupid can you get? You are weird. Am I Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning fan? I don't know anything about Tampa Bay Lightning. I know about the Buccaneers. You're right, Scott. Gun laws. Scott's level-headed. Gun laws are only followed by law-abiding citizens. The crowd. Howard Cosell defined bad choices in hairstyling. He sure did. I'm not keeping up with you, Christina. I don't know where you're at. Does anybody think that criminals follow gun laws? No, I don't. They don't follow regular laws. Why should they follow gun laws? Steal a gun. There were a lot of libertards that I X'd them off here, got rid of them. The crowd, Christina, you may have my respects and sympathy. I banned all of these. Okay. Why not have a regulation if you don't want hereafter an issue? I don't know. Why don't you call a legislator and talk to them? They may be able to help you. They're the ones that make the laws. They vote them in. A lot of people don't, especially if you're in Latvia. A lot of people don't have in Europe. They don't have guns. They don't need them. I am Afghanian from South America, like Ron DeSantis. I didn't think Ron was from South Africa. Am I into watches? No, not really. This is going to be the weirdest Christmas or New Year's I ever had. We're talking about gun laws. Does anybody in America look at what happens elsewhere? I don't know. Take a poll in America. How could I have an answer for that question? Windy City's cold. Yes, the hawk is out in the Windy City, and it is cold. The wind is cold, the weather's cold, and it's damp. Europe is socialist. Let me get to this. Europe is socialist. We don't want that here. No, we don't. We don't want it at all. I'm getting a lot of weird people here today. Yes. Yes. I want to thank all of you for boosting my algorithms. And I want to thank my regular good people and some new people that came by. Thank you so much. We've been here longer than I usually do, but it has been interesting today, very much. I think it's been good. But Jeff, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all you folks. Happy New Year. And God bless you. And I'll see you. If you guys are around New Year's Eve, I should be on at 4 p.m. New Year's Eve with Adam. And if I'm not on at 4 p.m., I'll be on at 5. But then again, I'll be on at 4 p.m. because if Adam doesn't do it, I'll do it. You want to know what time it is by me? What time where I'm at is I'm on Chicago time. And right now it is 5:16 in the evening. And normally I don't go an hour. So an hour is just about this. You're going to be around New Year's Eve. Well, good. I'm glad. Happy New Year's, Scott, if I don't see you Wednesday. Meanwhile, God bless all you folks. And it's Red We Met out.
The combination of the videotapes and We Met's testimony resulted in the conviction of 2 men on extortion charges. One of them was Frank Schweiz, known in syndicate circles as the German, a feared mob terrorist and a suspect in a number of gangland murders.
He was described to me by other outfit individuals as the most feared hitman. And as he said to me, my reputation precedes me, son.